All right, what's up, guys? Tony G here with FB Game Changers, and today we're going to cover how to master the art of selling anything. We're going to be going over a really cool formula that actually works. You're going to learn how to scientifically get more yeses out of your prospects and how to get more sales from different things that customers fear. We're going to cover that kind of stuff, to how to build rapport, to how to actually get the close and get the signature. All right, so that's the hardest part. I think that when people, let me just introduce real quick Zach. We got Zach in the line here. This is a Zoom call with Zach. He's a personal trainer out of Manhattan. Say hello, Zach.
Hey, what's up?
All right, cool. So he's in the health and wellness industry, and we're going to get to use him for an example today. So it's going to be awesome coaching for him today, and he's going to learn a lot. So everybody, I want you to grab your pen and a paper, because I have like 6 pages and I'm going to fly through them. So if you're taking notes, you're going to have a lot of notes too. And I'm giving you formulas. So, you will definitely want to write this stuff down. It's going to be formulas, right? So Zach, you're gonna have fun with this, man. So you ready to rock and roll?
Nice.
All right. So how to master the art of selling anything. All right. So you first of all, if you're having trouble selling, like if you're having trouble, if you talk to a lot of people and you have trouble just actually getting that close, this sales class is definitely going to help you out, right? So everyone's in sales. I want to start off by telling you that everybody's in sales, dude. Even you at home, Zach, you're in sales, because, if you're married, you got to constantly convince your wife to do something, right? Or at least on a normal basis, and your kids even more. Not so much with your wife or your spouse, but with kids, right? You got to say, I'm doing something. It's like, hey, comb your hair now.
Yeah,
get in the car. Come on, jump in the car seat now. All right. Well, if I get you an ice cream later today, will you listen? Yeah. All right. Cool. So we're all in sales. Would you agree?
yeah. I think just having that kind of art of influence is very beneficial in life.
Oh yeah, and that's huge. The art of influence, that'll get you very far. I like that. So today we're going to be talking about the mastering the art of selling anything, though. So painters, I'm going to give you an example of painters. The way they sell their stuff is on canvas and oils, right? Like, you like it, you buy it. There's not much convincing. They like your stuff. They know your name, obviously. They got to know your name, but like, they got to like that painting. So that's how they sell it, right? We sell, like business owners like me and you, Zach, we sell with words. It's different, right? And so we use strategies, we use techniques, and very important, questioning skills. You might have heard of these kind of skills before, and you probably use them. I know they use them already, Zach, because we were talking about that earlier, right?
Yeah.
So people don't say, so write this down. People don't say yes logically. They make their decision emotionally, okay? And then they back it up logically, right? So they have to feel a certain way, and then they're like, yeah, so that makes sense, right? So people don't say yes logically. They're convinced, emotionally, and then they back it up with logic. So people, we're going to talk about how to make people say yes emotionally, right? So for you in the health and wellness, this is a perfect one, right? So emotionally, like for me, I want to lose weight, and that would make me more handsome, and I would be better inside out. But if I look more handsome, I'm going to feel more handsome, and that would make me feel better, right?
Yeah, that should be priceless to you.
Yeah, it should be. You're right. It should be. Absolutely. And so the best way to sell is to touch somebody's emotions. Do you follow me on this here, Zach?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cover 3 things. All right, I'm gonna cover 3 things that we must have, right, before we even decide to sell whatever it is we're gonna sell. All right, and the number one thing, and people will read this on you. You gotta write this down. These 3 things. The number one thing is you have to be passionate about what you do. All right. You have to be, because people read that in you. And Zach, you're a perfect example of this. And number 2, which is what a lot more people struggle with this, and it's going to make sense to you, Zach, is you have to find the qualified people to sell to. You got to find qualified people. Qualified is the magic word here, right? Qualified. So you can ask certain questions to see if they're even a good fit for your business. Maybe they can't afford you. So why you waste time chasing them around for 2 weeks on Facebook, trying to figure out if they're going to buy your stuff or not when they can't even afford you to begin with, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So number 3 is you help people make decisions that's good for them. Nobody else but them. That decision is good for me, but for them. It's all about them, right? So that's part of the first part here. The next part we're going to cover is make your prospect say what you want them to say with the right questions. This is going to get really good. You're going to love this stuff. So there's like 41 different questions out there that you can ask people to really dig deep, but we're only going to cover the most important ones today. Okay, so these are great questions, man. So write this down. The first one is it's called, they have names too. It's called the tie down question. All right. And it's basically when you have a question at the end of your sentence that makes them say yes. Right. So Zach, do you help people lose weight?
Yes, I do.
Do you make people look better than what they were 3 months ago if they work with you one-on-one?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And have you been learning a lot on my coaching program?
Learning tons of stuff. Yes.
See how I just made you say yes to a bunch of stuff? So
yeah, 3 times in a row.
Yeah. So you want to get them to do this, right? It's a way to get a yes, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like you definitely get what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I did it again, didn't I?
Yeah, like 6 times in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. They're kind of fun to do, aren't they?
I'm just going to nod my head for the rest of them.
Well, you can do this, can't you? Right? Yeah, because you want to get more yeses, don't you?
Right.
So you don't want to burn those out. Obviously, I just showed you a bunch of different ways to do it, right? And you got the point, and it was kind of funny. But you don't overdo them, because then it burns it out, just like I did right now. Right? So there's a rule.
Yeah.
You want to use these. They're called tie downs. 2 per hour. Because if you do more than 2, they're like, you come off being pushy, and people don't like it when you're pushy. And so you want to regulate these to 2 an hour. So if you have a presentation and it's taking you time, like this is how you do it without doing it smooth, without sounding pushy. Once you go 3-4 times, it's like, okay, he keeps doing that thing. It makes me say, yeah. People catch on to that shit, and there's a lot of smart people, and your prospects are smart people, and so we want to be able to make them, just persuade them the right way. So how to let's see here. So what do you think about this stuff so far?
It's good. I like it. I like the tie down question. I think I've always learned, you should get the prospect into a yes mindset. Exactly. Get a whole bunch of yeses, get like 5 yeses out of them. The more yeses you can get out of them, the better. You don't want to burn out this skill set, but you can do it all kinds of different ways, Yeah.
I just went over some really simple ones. Now we're going to cover something different. It's 10 fears that humans have to buying things. And you want to write down all these 10 fears, because if you cover these 10 fears during your sales call, they're not going to be scared to buy, dude. Right?
Nice.
So here's fear number one. You ready? Fear number one is that people, they know that you're a salesman and they're afraid of you. Right? You were talking
Can you
about
repeat that one?
Yeah. People are afraid of you because they know you're a salesman.
Oh, gotcha.
You think
Yeah, they don't want to be sold anything, you know? They hate to be sold.
They hate to be sold. So like we were talking earlier, and you were saying how you, like, when you walk around the gym, people, like, they know what you're up to. They know that you're a fitness instructor, and you ultimately want to get them on as a coaching client. Right? So they smell that. And that's what I'm talking about right now, is people are afraid of you. So you want to take your mindset from being a salesman to be an expert advisor. Get, and one of the, this is huge. And what you want to do is to get people to like you before you pitch anything and do things like that. You want to get people to like you, right? Because when they like you, they trust you. They can now trust you. And when they trust you, they listen to you. Right? Mm-hmm. And so that's where the magic starts to happen. So you have to, like, do things to get them to like you. Right? So sometimes that means we have to compliment them on their cool shoes and things like that, or give them little dabs, you know, little knuckles or something, little knuckles. Say hello. You know, people are like, oh, right on. Whatever it is that you got to do to get them to like you. Maybe it's relating to them somehow, you know, like if they drive a Chevy, you drive a Chevy, something like that. You know? So the number
building that rapport, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the second thing out of this 10 is people are afraid of making a mistake. We all are, right? All of us, because, you know, they may buy something and it doesn't work for them. Right? So what you want to do is cover your ass and hit all those points. So if they feel like there's a mistake, there could be a possible mistake, say something in advance. Don't let it get to that point where they're asking about, or they're worried or whatever. Just say something to cover that mistake. Right? So if it's, you know, scheduling or the amount, the financing, whatever it is, make sure that they don't feel like they would be making a mistake if they bought your product or service, because everybody's had a bad experience where you buy something and it was a mistake. Yeah, man, I shouldn't have bought that, right?
Yeah. So you're saying, like, what? Can you give an example?
Yeah. So, you know, I tried out this proximity marketing. It was a small device, probably right here. This little thing, okay? This little guy right here, proximity marketing. And I wanted to sell these because in theory, they sound great. What they do is they broadcast your website or whatever, like link, you know, or funnel, whatever you want, out to 100 yards in every direction, 24/7, right? All Android phones, right? And I was like, sounds great. Where do I sign up? Take my money. Stop talking, right? Now, I got it, obviously, and I turn it this way because I don't want people to see exactly whose it was. So sorry if I flashed that. But these beacons are very common. They're everywhere, right? And so that's called a beacon, and it broadcasts that. So after trying it, I found that it'll pop up on your phone only sometimes. And it doesn't even give you a notification. Your phone doesn't go off. You have to actually, like, drag down your phone. You know, like, drag this down to get to see the notifications. And not everybody does that all the time. So I was thinking I was going to get a bunch of leads, and I didn't. And I was like, you know what? shouldn't have bought this thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
it does sound great in theory, but yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
pan out.
It sounds great. And I'm sure that I've talked to the owners of different businesses, different engineers that run these things and build these things. I've talked to a ton of people, man. And the technology will get better, and I'll probably revisit that later. But whatever. So that's a good example, right? So now,
Yeah,
like, if somebody pitches me one of these things tomorrow, how do you think I'm gonna feel? It's like, no, I already made that mistake.
right.
So that's my fear. No, it's bad. The technology is not ready. I'm not gonna do that right now. That's me. Once the technology is there and better, then cool. All right, let's revisit this. I like this, right? Because the concept's pretty cool. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is people are afraid to be lied to. Have you ever had somebody lie to you and not be 100% honest about the product or service that you bought? Yeah, right? Throughout your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah. So,
Or they stretch the truth. It's not really what it
yeah,
is.
definitely stretch the truth.
Stretching the truth.
Maybe they don't intentionally lie, but they stretch the truth.
Salesmen are horrible at this. And that's why this training class today is change all that and make sure you're nowhere near that, dude. Okay? This is good stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a fine line. I mean, I realize, building a perception is reality, but there's a fine line between, really stretching the truth and promising what can't be promised, and lying and telling the truth.
Yep. Which leads us to the next number 4 is afraid of incurring debt. Right? I can't afford it. People are just afraid of incurring debt. Like, damn, if you start talking about monthly payments or how much it costs, and they're like, ooh, I'm afraid of incurring that debt because I can't afford it. So the way to get over that is by providing massive value. Massive. Okay? That's how you get over that. And it's like so much value that they have no choice. They're like, shit, it's like a dream come true. And this is great, Just keep dumping value, the benefits of the benefits, like just dump value. And so that's how you get over that. The next one is the fear of losing face. And this one's an interesting one. This is more of an ego type issue. So I'll give you an example. You're in a room and, they're saying, this is a good example. Okay. So you're in a room and different people are speaking, right? And the Viagra company goes up and they start speaking. Now there's going to be guys in that room that are going, oh, I need that. Right? But when they do the call to action, they don't stand up and go because they're afraid of what people are going to think of them. You follow me?
Yeah. Yeah. That should be Viagra's fault. They should know that, that they're going to lose that sale because no guy's going to want to stand up.
Yep, exactly. So they need to take my sales course. So there's a way to get over that, though. Okay, and the way to get over that is to find a way to do it without singling people out, and then you also want to make everybody in the room feel important. Important is the key word here. Everybody. So make sure you uplift like everybody. That way people don't feel so bad about that, right? Because people, it's just the human brain is something else, which leads me to a comment of people have to feel like if you can feel empathy for them, they are most likely buy from you. So you got to put yourself in their shoes. So like, for example, Zach, you putting yourself in your customer's shoes, he wants to look great and look good. And he doesn't want to pay a fortune, but he wants it to be effective, right? Like that's major. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, he definitely wants it to work,
So if I'm a client, I'm a prospect, you're trying to close me, right? And I say, damn, $1,000. man, I want to do it so bad. I want to lose this weight, but I just can't afford it. It's just too expensive. $1,000.
Hmm. I think, um,
But
I think I would just have to find out, kind of why you think it's expensive. I mean, let's say I enrolled you in for free. I mean, do you think, from our talk and everything, do you think you would get results from this program? And, if they say yes, or something like that, then it's like, okay, so is it just $1,000? You don't have the money for it? Then maybe I can help you find the money, or maybe we can split it up into payments.
there you go. Exactly. And that's what I was going to say is
Oh,
in their shoes but do it in a way where you kind of like put your hand on their shoulder and go, look, man, I understand. I totally get it, dude. You know, if I can buy myself a Corvette, I will, but I can't afford it. And I really want one. So I'm going to help you out. Okay. I'm going to break this up into monthly payments. If I did that and I found a monthly payment that fits your budget, would you be ready to lose some weight? That's what I would say. That's how I do it right there. And they are going to say,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a lot of empathy in that too.
You see how my mood changed though? I should be an actor, huh?
Yeah, that was good acting.
I'm not that good, but I had to like slow it down so that you guys get it from the depth, and you have to speak with passion like that, and not sound like a robot. Nobody wants to do that. We know how to stay away from that. But if you want to do this, like having empathy for somebody, they feel like you connect for them, and that makes them feel like you care more about their goals and what they want to accomplish versus just making a sale.
Yeah.
So
so true.
It's very true. So the next one is number 6 here. People are afraid of the unknown. Cover these things when you're pitching. So what does that mean? I don't know the product. I haven't seen you before. How long have you been in business?
Right? Yeah, and coaching is very intangible too. So it's not like, an iPhone or something that they can see. It's a service.
Yeah.
And it's not like an in-person. If you do it online, it's not like an in-person service. So
exactly.
It's a little bit harder to sell, I think.
Yep. And the way to get over it is you make your sales process an educating process. That's it. You just make it an educating process and educate the benefits of buying your service or your products. But you've got to focus on the benefits of them purchasing your products, right? So you got to word things like that. And solving pain points. So maybe it's losing weight and having a coach and not paying a fortune. Or maybe it's an accountability program that nobody ever gives. Or, they're looking for all kinds of different things, right? But they're afraid of the unknown. So that's how you do. You basically solve their problem. And you just completely change their mind shift, the way they're thinking about your company. And they look at you as an authority figure, and they trust you. They like you, so they trust you, and then they'll listen to you, right? So
yeah.
Let's see here. So number 7. All right, ready for this?
Yep.
Fear of having a past experience again. Like have you ever been through something before? And then somebody offers you something, you're like, nope, I'm not going there. I already did that. I'm good. Does that ever happen to you?
What do you mean? Is it the same thing like making a mistake or?
No, not necessarily. So making a mistake, yeah, I guess making a mistake is a very general term. But so this is like it was because of that service, not because of you didn't get anything out of it. But how do I explain this? So maybe it was like you didn't have the time for it. You thought like it was a good product, but you just
got you.
tried that, but I just don't have the time to do this. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Follow me?
Yeah.
I
So
like
it's
your
like
red glasses.
maybe a bigger commitment.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So,
but I have two sleepovers, and Haley's out of town with Phil.
So- we're going to go over some other questions. Okay. And-
Tony, can you hear me? It's Robin.
oh, hey, Robin. What's up, Robin?
I'm having problems with this. It's going in and out, in and out. I like your red glasses.
Thank you. Thank you. So we were just talking about this. Well, I'm going to mute you because it sounds like there's some background noise, okay?
Okay.
Cool. So we're just talking about, now we were going to move on to alternate of choice, all right?
Well, how do you fix number 7?
Went away from free pot pie.
If that was your play card, it would be revoked.
Okay, you know what, Claire? You're being a little high school.
I am sorry, Mitchell, but I get one free night, and I can't spend it at a place that is a proud supporter of Wilson Elementary.
We all need to give back, Claire.
Oh, give me back my night.
Okay, well, Longston did invite us to a boutique opening, you know, cocktails, DJ. It'll be a whole thing.
A scene? A scene is perfect. That's great. I will get in the car before you guys change your mind. Come on.
No Popeyes? Hey, Joanne, 2 number 9s to go. Was I wrong?
All right. You there, buddy? Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go over some questions, and these questions are killer questions, dude. You're going to like this stuff. Okay, you ready? So this
Are we skipping? I'm sorry. Are we skipping like the 10 fears?
you know what? I meant to say 7, not 10. That was my bad.
Oh, gotcha.
That was my bad. So it's 7 instead of 10, guys. I'm so sorry. All right. So sorry about that. I made a mistake by saying 10 instead of 7. So, all right. Question. This is you're gonna love these questions. These are closing questions that'll help you get closer to a sale. Okay. This question is called alternate choice. All right. And it's basically a question with 2 that you leave it open for 2 answers that get you closer to a sale. Right. This is really cool. So in either one of their, like, you're going to give them 2 options, and either one, they're both positive for you. You know? So the way you do it, I'm going to use an example of setting an appointment. So you basically, you start with their name. Hey, Mr. Joe Schmo. Are you available for 3 p.m. or 9 p.m. or 9 a.m., right? 3 or 9. And you ask them for one of 2 things. That way they don't give you just a no, right? And so another way to do it is like, okay, what works best for you, Mr. Joe Schmo? My office or your office, right? When you're trying to set an appointment. Because if you do specific questions like that, you're going to get way closer to to a yes. This is going to help you like big time. Okay. So, you could even use this on your spouse. So it's like, hey, honey, what do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know. Well, would you like Chinese or Italian? Well, we don't have any Chinese. Okay, well, grab your coat. Let's go. You see that?
Right.
And
yeah.
so,
it filters it.
Yeah, big time. And it gets them into making a decision and going. So it's like, hey, do you want Chinese or Italian? They go, Chinese sounds good. And they spit out, they say, We don't have any Chinese. Great, grab your coat. Let's go. You got this. You got the clothes, baby, right? You can do the same thing in sales. You can do the same thing in sales. All right. The next question is called a porcupine question. Have you heard of this before? Have you heard of the porcupine question?
No.
No? Okay. What about you, Robin? Have you heard of the porcupine question? All right. I'm not sure if Robin's still on. So the porcupine question is when you answer a question with another question. A good way to do this is like pretend somebody throws a porcupine at you. What are you going to do? You're going to throw it right back, right? So that's what you do with the questions. So here's some examples. Say you're selling a house, or no, we're using yours for an example, health and wellness. So it's like people, they schedule their one-on-one coaching with you. They got to go on calendar, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody asks you, this is a question coming from your prospect. This is when you know it's time to close. Is when your prospect asks you about what days are you available? They would ask you, what days are you known? What days do you work? Because they're trying to figure out if your schedule matches their schedule, right, Zach? And so a question that you would ask them is, well, when are you available? And then you get to put the ball in his court, and he's gonna, oh, well, I'm available at 3 p.m. Thursday. You go, perfect, let's do 3 p.m. Thursday, right? So that's a question that they're asking you. Now, this works really, really, really well. Okay, if say somebody's buying some sneakers, this can be really simple. I'm gonna give you a super simple example, and they're some Jordans, and they have all kinds of different colors. And you grab the sneakers, they're like, hey, you have these in blue. If the salesman were to say, would you like them in blue? Yes. The sale is done. It's over. Oh, cool. Let's go ring them up. It's done. And less talking, way less talking. People over talk after that. They're like, okay, well, they're on sale and blah, blah, blah. And they're still trying to close. And it's like, no, they want the blue ones. Go get them. Go ring them up. You're done. Right? So for you, Zach, it'd be like maybe it's a payment option. Do you take payment options? You would say something like, would that work better for your budget? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel, wouldn't everyone say that though? Or would, instead of paying all up front, wouldn't a lot of people just take the payment option when you ask that? Even if they could have paid all up front?
So that's a sales strategy that you want to use if they say no. Don't hit them with it up front. Save it on the back. Make it like your poker card, dude. Keep it up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Hold on to that. Don't give it to them up front. If you're talking to, you just always want to hit them with it, because let's say even if you're talking to a room full of a lot of people, and you spit out the initial payment, it's going to be $1,000. 3 out of 30 people, 3, 4, 5 of them will stand up, go pay, right? And then you start talking about the benefits again. The benefits, okay, guys, we're going to lose weight, we're going to look good, we're going to look sexy, date hotter girls, blah, blah, blah. What if I can do a monthly payment plan of $83 a month? Boom, all of a sudden 10 more people stand up. They go up to the bank, sign up. Right? So you want to hold on to that. You want to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's called the porcupine, right? Let's see here. So I have other examples of like buying a house and stuff like that, but I like sticking to what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense.
So let's see here. I have some words that we're going to cover that you should completely take out of your vocabulary when you're making a sale. And it's 8 different words. All right. So you ready for the first one? First
Yeah.
one,
So 8 different words not to say.
yeah, not to say, and I'm going to give you words to replace them with. So the
Okay.
first one is going to be cost, price. Okay. And because when people hear the cost, they're like, that's too expensive. And people, for some reason, the human brain is like, cost or price? Oh my God, what's the price? Wow. Right. So you want to say
Yeah.
a total investment amount, or I'm sorry, investment or the word amount. Investment or amount. So the amount is this, right? The investment is that. Then the second word is down payment. People all of a sudden were like, well, we're not here to buy. We're not here to do a down payment, right? So another word you were going to replace that with is initial investment or initial amount. It just sounds better to the human brain. Okay. And number 3 word to not use anymore is monthly payment. So it's going to follow the same trend. It's going to be monthly investment or monthly amount. Okay, all these tiny little things add up. Okay, I promise you. Number 4 is a big one. Is use the word contract. People hate contracts, dude. Like, oh my God, did you get in?
Yeah.
How long is it? Jeez, like 2 years? Damn, right? People hate contracts. So what to replace your word contract is going to be paperwork, agreement, form. 3 different words you can use. Paperwork, agreement, or form, right? Another one is buy. Number 5 is going to be buy. Are you ready to buy this? No. It keeps trying to sell me. Buy. So people like to, own stuff, but they don't like to buy stuff, right? So you want to replace the word buy with own. So it's like, real estate agent, you're like, hey, do you want to buy this house? Or how would you like to own this house? They're going to feel emotional and be like, man, I would love to own that house, right? Because they feel like they own
Is there a way that, well, I can't say like own, training, or so is it like, instead of saying buying, my service, is there another word?
I would say like, hey, imagine, I would say the word imagine. This is a very powerful word. Make them imagine and slow your word down too. So say it once. Okay, imagine this. Imagine you lose 50 pounds. How would you look? Say it fast, and then you would go, imagine if you lost 50 pounds. What would you look like? What would you look like? And I'm thinking,
Nice.
I'm looking good.
So you tie it to their pain, or you'd say imagine, or like the benefit of what could happen.
Yep. And then you would say, imagine if you could own that. Own that. And they're like, hell yeah, I want that. I want to own that. Right? So number 6 is the word sell or sold. People hate that word. Hey, I sold my service to your neighbors. Like, yeah, you pushed them into it. Of course you sold. You're a salesman. People, consumers hate the word sell, sold, salesman, all that crap, right? So you get them involved or acquire, right? So get them involved or acquire, right? So when you're saying, hey, I got your neighbors involved with, losing weight. That sounds better.
Gotcha.
Your neighbors, right? Right? Or your neighbors acquired my service and they have so much energy, they're losing all kinds of weight. That sounds great. Talking about benefits again, right? So number 7 is the word deal. And this is a horrible word for like people over 50 because they've all gotten in a bad deal. They can think of something like 10 years ago and they're like, you know what? 10 years ago, I got in a bad deal We're not getting into any deal today, right? So they've had a bad deal. Everybody kind of been through that. So you want to replace the word deal with opportunity or transaction, right? Opportunity or transaction, right? And then here's the fun part, the time to close. This is gonna word sign. Hey, can you sign right here? People again, they rather hear other words. And it's the word is okay. Can you okay this? And another word is approve. Hey, all right, go ahead and approve it right here. Another word is authorize. Great. Go ahead and I just need you to authorize this here, and then move forward. Right. So that's when it's time to close, which brings me to the end of my sales training here today. Is the art of closing. My favorite time, dude, because here's where everybody struggles, man, is that you gave your spiel, you gave them the benefits, touch the emotions, and then when it's time for them to actually buy, it's close them. People sometimes don't know how to ask for the close. Would you agree, Zach?
Yeah, no, I still kind of get like mess up on it a little bit.
I think it's the hardest thing to do, because you can persuade people, you can entertain people, but if you can't get them to sign and close the deal, nothing's happening, baby. So this is I hope you've been taking notes, because this is I've been going over through a lot of content, and
Yeah, no, I got a whole page.
Right. This is really good stuff. So the art of closing a sale. Okay, so your mission is to help a client rationalize their decision. That's the art of closing a sale. You're also gonna help eliminate procrastination. I'm going to list 4 different things in the art of closing a sale. One is you're helping your client rationalize their decision. The second one is you're going to help eliminate procrastination. You want to touch on these things. All right. And number 3 is you want to help your clients deal with their fears. Maybe sometimes that's like, oh, I can't afford this. Or it could be, oh, am I going to lose enough weight by this summer? The fear, like, what if I don't follow through? What if I don't lose any weight? Right. Number 4 is help your client overcome their decision. Right. Which leads me to 4 different ways that you can close a sale. You want to write this stuff down. 4 more ways how you can close a sale. So a lot of the times people are already convinced, but you don't know it yet. And you're talking about your thing and it's going great. They're already convinced, but you just don't know it yet. Do you agree that sometimes that happens, Zach?
Yeah, I think they're waiting on you.
Yep. So here's a sign that somebody is ready for a sale is when the buyers ask a porcupine question. Remember the porcupine question? That's when it's like, hey, so what days do you normally work? Because they're trying to match their schedule with your schedule, right? So then you would say, well, what days are you available? Right? And you just, great, let's go. I just need you to authorize here. Right? And so that's a big one, is when they start asking, you have to look out for porcupine questions. They're like, oh, they're ready. They're ready to buy. They're ready. Look out for porcupine questions. So now this is another question where you ask the question to the buyer, and it's called a test close. You're going to just test it to see what they say. Test the close, right? And here's the question is, how do you feel about this so far? See, they don't have to make a decision, but they're going to tell you how they feel about your services. They're going to tell you if it's it doesn't match their color calendar. They're going to tell you if it's too expensive. They're going to tell you if they're excited and they just want to get started. Right? So it's how do you feel about all this so far? Ask them that question, and you're gonna love your response, dude. Let them just tell you everything, right? So another way to test your clothes is if you have paperwork in front of you. Let's say you're in person and you're like, all right, so how much do you weigh? And you're writing this stuff down, right? And then at the end, like as you're pitching, you have to get them to sign paperwork, right? So a way to do it after you're doing all this is just grab your contract and say, so how do you spell your full name? And you start to write their name, and that's kind of like initiating them, like, okay, cool, we're gonna sign. You follow me? You have to say the words. How do you spell your full name?
And this is kind of like to nudge them that we're going to sign.
Exactly. That's testing the close. All right. And then you can lead it to my number 3 question is, with your approval, we can start next week. Or with your approval, if you want to remember earlier, you grab the date of when they're available. But with your approval, we can start on Thursday when you're ready. Right? So, or you can say, I just need your approval right here. Make them sign. And then here's what you do. You grab your pen in one hand. You grab your paper in the other hand. That's your contract. I just need your approval right here. And put your pen in their hand. It works great. Put your pen in their hand. And they're just naturally going to go, okay. And if they're not ready to buy, that's fine. They're going to have a rebuttal. And that's where, if it's not going to be a yes, then it's going to be a no. There's only 2 options. So now we're going to cover rebuttals real quick. Okay. So most common rebuttal is, let me think about it. That's the most common rebuttal. I'm sorry. So your rebuttal to that, that's their most common rebuttal towards you, right? So how do you rebuttal that? Is what would you like to think about more? Is it your schedule? No, well, it's this. No, well, it's that. They're going to tell you what they're going to think about. And, well, you don't have it in red. Yeah, well, it's in the AM, not in the PM. Well, it's too expensive. So at that point, you can say, well, okay, is that the only thing that's stopping you? So you say that, and you get their approval, by overcoming whatever problem there is that they want to think about. So make them tell you what it is that they want to think about so much.
So would you just say schedule just to say schedule so they can either agree or disagree, and then they'll tell you, and then you say, okay, is that the only thing stopping you?
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is that they want to think over, grab that and create a solution for it. So if it's a money problem,
okay.
So if it's a money problem, well, the truth is it's just too expensive. I can't afford it right now, right? Only if I gave you monthly payments that fits your budget, would you be ready to lose some weight? Right? You said it's going to fit your budget. Are they going to, ready to lose some weight? Yes, let's lose some weight, baby. Right? That's what I would say.
Yeah. So what if you tried the monthly thing and they're just like, that's still too expensive at that point? Is it just a no-go?
You know what? There's a time where you just got to walk away because they're not meant for you. And that's okay. So
gotcha.
If you have a lower, like let's say if your offer is $1,000 and it's like, hey, well, I also have this video that you can watch that'll teach you about how to eat right and how to exercise. And it's only $97. You want the video? Oh yeah, that's great. That's how you save your no. If they're absolutely not going to spend your $1,000 and you don't want them to walk away, give it one more shot with something with high value and low cost. And they'll jump on that most likely. Okay, yeah, that works. That's more my budget. Okay, great. Yeah. And if not, cool. And if it's a money thing, I think that it's just like, no, after so long, it's all good. Right on. Cool. Because you know what?
Gotcha.
There's another person that's waiting to talk to you. There's another person that's just waiting, like, oh man, I want to lose some weight. I'm looking for a coach right now. And they're out there looking.
Yeah.
And you're spending all this quality time with this person. And if they're not willing to buy at your regular prices or even discounted prices, then it's not always your fault. It's something on their end, personal. Like, they can't afford it. They can't afford it. If they don't have $20 to their name, then they can't afford it. So that comes along with pre-qualifying questions, though. You shouldn't be talking to this guy to begin with.
Right.
So that kind of X's out that. Like, if you target people only that make $100,000 plus, they're never going to have that problem, dude. Actually, they might, because they could be spending all their money as they're making it. That's very, 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 very common. Very common. So, but still.
Especially in Manhattan.
They can make it happen, though. If they're shuffling around that much money, it's all good. They can make it happen if they really wanted to. But so by filtering them beforehand, though, you avoid the money problem, right? So it's like let me think about it, right? So if they have the money, but they think it's still too expensive, that only means one thing. You haven't given them enough value. You haven't given them enough value yet. So that's just add more value. Okay, and add value to what you're going to give them, and talk about the benefits. When you talk about the benefits and the benefits of the benefits, then you can revisit the close again. It's like, so I thought you wanted to get in shape for the summer. Yeah. Well, what's going to happen if you're still like chunky and you can't take your shirt off at the beach? How are you going to feel? And then like, their shoulders are going to drop. That's going to suck. It's like, don't you want to look good? You start tapping in their emotions again. If you want to hit them one more time, tap into their emotions and put the ball in their court. So I thought you wanted to lose weight and look good for the summer so you can get yourself a hot girlfriend. What's going to happen if you're overweight and you can't take your shirt off at the beach? Are you going to get a hot girlfriend? No. All right. Well, let's get you a hot girlfriend, dude. All right. You're focusing on the benefits of the benefits. Right?
Yeah. I like how you tied that to what they really wanted.
Exactly.
Instead of like, all right, well, let's jump in my program. It was, all right, well, let's get you a hot girlfriend. Let's go.
Yeah. That's how you remember in the beginning of this, I said, you're going to learn to get an emotional yes out of people. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that concludes my training for today, man. What did you think, Zach?
Man, it was so much information. So, yeah, I took a lot of notes. I have one question. When you ask that kind of how do you spell your full name and then test it with your approval, we can start, when you're ready. Do you do that when you're FaceTiming on your calls?
So if I'm FaceTiming like we are right now, I would share my screen and I would pull up the invoice where I'm going to have them sign up, and I would say, okay, how do you spell your full name? And they're watching me.
Got you. And they can see everything.
Yeah. So for example, watch this. I'm going to show you this real quick. Okay. Actually you can't see this, but for the people who could, no, you know what? I'm not going to go there. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So if you have like a pay funnel or a contract, instead of waiting for them to fill it out sometime later, you get them to close right then and there, and you fill out the paperwork for them. If you're in person, if you're doing it online, don't try to close sales over the phone. Do it on video, using Zoom or a software like where we're on right now, where you can share your screen like I just did right now. You can get to your invoice and you can say, okay, how do you spell your name? Boop, boop, boop. Start typing it. If they're going to say no, let them stop you. It's all good. Then you can overcome the rejection. What's going on? What do you want to think about?
Yeah. So is this before you tell them the price, though?
No. This is after. They already know the price.
And then, so when you tell them the price, you kind of say, I mean, what would you say? Okay, sounds good, right? Or
yeah. So you give them all the value, and you always want to add your prices. Like, hey, normally it costs, one-on-one is going to normally $50 an hour. We'll get you 3 months for $1,000. So you don't, if you were to break this down, you would end up paying like $3,000. So instead of paying me hourly, you're going to spend $3,000. You can just pay a one-time payment of $1,000. Would that fit? And then I would say, would that fit your budget? And then they're going to tell you yes or no. I say, okay. And if they say no, then it's like, okay, then what would fit your budget? And maybe you can just give them like 10% off or something. Or when they may need their monthly payments. So that's where you bust in with that. You want to hold that in your back pocket or up your sleeve. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then when they agree, you then switch to the, okay, how do you spell your full name?
Yep. How do you spell your full name? And just let them start spelling out your name. You're fine.
Nice.
Or their name. Yeah. Right on, buddy. That's a good question. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you really enjoyed yourself. I'm glad that we were able to use you as an example today as a fitness model and a health and wellness coach or fitness coach. Zach, thank you for being my guest today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Right on, buddy. Cool. So I will talk to you soon, okay?
All right.
All right. Bye.
See you.
All right. So, guys, if you need help getting more sales for your business, if you need some help generating more clients with Facebook, I have a coaching program that teaches you how you can generate between 3 and 5 clients per week. And there's different ways to do it. There's 2 strategies. You can do it with Facebook paid ads, or you can do it organically without spending a single dollar on ads. And my coaching program teaches on both of them. So if you want more information and you want to learn how you can generate more clients for your business without sounding too pushy, without overspending on ads, or maybe even not spending any money on ads, click on the button below to get more information. And I'll show you all the details of exactly what comes with the coaching program. With, of course, you get me, all right, one-on-one. So if you want to see that, click on the button below. The one-on-one is a special offer. It's not always a part of the group coaching program. So let me mention, I have 2 things. I have a group coaching program and I have a one-on-one coaching program, right? And if you're interested in the group coaching program, it's less expensive than a one-on-one program, right? So all you have to do is click on the button below if you want to get inside my coaching program and not have to pay an arm and a leg, all right? Right now, it's limited seating. So the room is going to fill up by the end of this month. All right, I'm only taking on 30 more people. So if you want more information, all right, if you want more information, all you got to do is click on the link below or click on the button below. I hope you guys enjoyed this training, and I will see you guys on the other side, and I'll see you soon.